Greetings and welcome to today's episode of Wellness Wednesdays. I am Dr. Katherine Y. Brown, your host. Today, I am excited to have in our studio, Mrs. Barbara James. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Dr. Brown. I am Barbara James, the founder and organizer of a grassroots organization called Vaccine for All. This organization is just a bunch of volunteers. We saw a need in the community, so we focus on that need. And basically, that was bringing COVID-19 vaccines to the community. We go into areas of low-income areas and places where they may not have access to computers or may not know how to access the computer to schedule vaccines. So we take it to the people.
I love it. So for all our viewers around the world, they have just learned about what you do, what your work involves, and who you serve. What have been some of the challenges that you have faced doing this work during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Basically, the biggest challenge is misinformation. We go out and people will tell us that, well, I heard the vaccine will put a tracker in my body and they'll track me, or I may not be able to have kids, or just misinformation. That has been the greatest challenge to bring in this most important life-saving medicine to the community.
How many people are on your team? Because I know you're doing a lot of work, but what does that number look like as you've pulled people in to meet the needs?
When someone says to me, I want to help, they become a part of Vaccine for All. Currently, we have about 30 people who are associated with the organization. But what we do is we partner with others. One of our biggest partners is with the Metro Housing and Development Association. That gives us the opportunity to go in local housing communities. So we partner with others. So, you know, we may have 30 or we may have thousands as part of our organization.
How many people have you served? Because I know you probably have tracked this data.
Well, you know, when we first started, we thought this would be temporary. Back in March of 2021, when the organization began, we said, okay, the vaccines are out. Maybe for the next 3 months, we'll help get this done and people won't need vaccines anymore. Well, that didn't happen. We were not really keeping a lot of statistics at the time. However, in the last year, we have since January of 2022, we have probably done maybe 1,500 shots. Just our organization working, especially working with MDHA.
Amazing. So I want to go back. You got a group of volunteers. Who was the person that, said, this is what we need to do? Was it you? Was it someone else? How did you just come together out the gate and say, we are going to serve the community?
Well, it started with a call. We were on a conference call for a celebration with NAACP. So I asked the question, I said, I am really concerned about people getting these shots because I knew how difficult it was for us to schedule ours. My husband being a senior of 80 years, so I was trying to schedule his vaccine. And then, of course, my time was coming up and schedule mine. It took days and days. And I knew that would be difficult for others. So I asked on the call and said, well, what can we do? And believe it or not, there were 3 or 4 people at that point said, I'll help. So I said, well, send me your email address and we will organize a group. Senator Gilmore was part of that group, Jeanette Tapman, Debbie Eggleton, Patricia Goldthwait. There were several other members, but these ladies came on the first conference call. And from that point on, it grew.
I love it. And I know those ladies, and they're all amazing ladies. So there you have it. That is Absolutely exciting to hear. So now here we are. We are September 1st, 2022. What does your work look like?
Well, we get calls daily. Someone says, I saw what you all did in the community. Can you come help? Right now, we are scheduled for tomorrow, as a matter of fact, on September the 2nd. What we do, we partner with other activities. For an example, there will be a fresh food distribution tomorrow. Places like that will set up a vaccine clinic. So when you come in for your food, we ask if you had your shots and we get those shots for you. We're scheduled for the upcoming African Street Festival. I think that's about the middle of the month, maybe September the 16th through the 19th. We're also scheduled for the African Methodist Episcopal Church conferences. Actually, it's with the 13th Episcopal District, so it goes all over the state of Tennessee. So, and then people will call. We do schools. If a person will call and they have a school event coming up, we'll partner with them. And you better believe we'll take that vaccine clinic there.
It sounds like there's no place that Vaccine for All is not willing to go, and that is good news. So for our viewers, I want them to know, how can they reach you? What's your contact information? Because I know someone somewhere is saying, I need to connect with Mrs. Barbara James.
Well, now we do have a Vaccine for All group on Facebook. And of course, you can always contact me personally at before I do it too at Comcast.net. And I have a telephone number, 615-708-0917. We are, when I said earlier, we did not plan for this to go past 2 or 3 months. So being an old lady, I have not established a website yet, but we're working on it.
All right. I got a suspicion it might just be Vaccine for All. So, but you have given them your phone number, your email address, and they know to look out for this Facebook group. So where do you see yourself, I suppose, in the next, 6 months? What does success look like for you all?
Well, because we partner with Tennessee SEAL, that helps us a lot. There are resources available. So with that partnership, we can go further. As a matter of fact, we are currently helping them with some surveys. So we go in the community, we take the surveys, and that gives information back to that organization. And they come back with other data for us, telling us, okay, you need to do this. This is what people are saying. So it helps us a lot. But we are really looking forward to a very busy year. We know the new vaccine, and I get questions about it all the time, is coming out. When will it be ready? I'm ready for my next shot. So I think we'll be busy the remaining part of the year in the next 6 months. And also, I would be remiss not to mention one of the scientists that works with us, Dr. Donald Alcindor. Dr. Alcindor goes with us. He talks to the people in the community, and he breaks the information down on a level that they can understand. No, the vaccine will not harm you. We have been getting vaccines since the beginning of time. In your lifetime, I think he says you get 112 or a certain number of vaccines. So we have a good group, and that group will propel us further.
Absolutely. Well, I've asked you so many questions. Is there anything that you would like to share that I've not asked you?
Well, the most important point will be get yourself vaccinated, vaccinate your family, and pass out information that is truthful. Help us get rid of all the misinformation that travels in our community.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your work, your service. I know they recently honored you with a recognition in the community. And as the person who asked the question, what can we do? We just want to salute you and thank you so much for your service. Once you're a guest on Wellness Wednesdays with me, you are a family and you are welcome to come back anytime.
Well, thank you so very much. I really appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you again.
Well, thank you again. And for our viewers around the world, you've just met Mrs. Barbara James, who is on the forefront with Vaccine for All. Her information is below. If you have questions, please follow her Facebook group, email her, call her. Vaccine for All is in the community, and they are serving the community to meet what would be an unmet need without their work. So until next time, like this message, share this message, follow us. And I am Dr. Katherine Y. Brown, your host of Wellness Wednesdays. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for all you do, Miss Barbara James.